Hello and welcome back to the second episode of Attraction Express Zoo, which is the first ever series of the channel. So in this episode, we will be doing the first ever habitat and kind of animal of the zoo, which we're quite exciting, and it is an African animal, as we said in the first episode. So kind of keep your eye out for when we start to put our animal in, and yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So at the moment we are putting the barriers in, as we are just stretching them out, because at first I had to put the barriers kind of because I forgot that I was being a bit silly. I forgot there was like a whole other side to the habitat, so I put the barriers at the start, and then I couldn't edit that, and I didn't really want to delete the whole thing, so then I just moved the barriers around, and I actually came up with a pretty good idea to make the habitat a little bit smaller. And here it's such a pretty cool gate, this, and it actually looks pretty good. So everything happens for a reason, and that did, and now it looks pretty nice. And now we were going to look at the animals. Now we're looking at the kind of range of it, and right at the start of the video, right at the start, we will be selecting our animal. And as we just go through, looking at all the animals, what's going right, what's going wrong, where we're going to get it from, and here we are deciding what we are going to get. And we do get the African wild dog, first ever animal of the zoo. And I do go on to get quite a few, but then at the end of the episode, I do narrow that down to 3. But I always like to do get quite a few, because kind of once you buy some, there's different kind of individuals on the market, and sometimes individuals are better. Not that I really care, but I just like doing that. So yeah, I'm just selecting it onto here, and it wasn't working because I didn't know that the trade centre wasn't connected to the whole thing. So I didn't know that. I was being a bit silly, so I was like, what's going on here? So, yeah. By the way, at the end of the video, we will be doing a tour of the kind of whole park at the moment. So stay tuned in to the end of the video, because we'll be doing a tour of what we did last episode and this episode. So kind of stay tuned in to the end of the video, of course. And I'm still thinking what is going on here, and then I do cut that out, because then I eventually know that it was because the trade centre wasn't connected. It did say on the thing that it said kind of no path to destination. I was kind of that's why I was fiddling with I was kind of a bit confused, so I was fiddling with the paths, trying to see if there was an error with them or something. And here we are, our first animals in the zoo, the African wild dogs. And now we start trying to make the habitat best for them. Of course, animals needs first in the zoo, although it is meant to look good. We do want to we do want the animals to be quite have good welfare and all that stuff. So we do like to create good habitats for them. And then we are 3 African wild dogs in our habitat, and there's our shelter that we made, kind of for the guests to walk through in the last episode. I thought that came out pretty good. And now we are putting the first kind of scenery in the actual zoo. Yeah, so we are using savannah rocks, I think, now for this, and they actually look pretty good. I do go on to put 2 other types of rocks in for kind of the whole zoo, the whole zoo area around this habitat. But at the moment we are of course using savannah rocks, because I kind of like to go around the barrier with kind of one rock and then 2 rocks, and then lay them up. And here we are doing the work zone right here. I'm going to call that African wild dog work zone, because I'm going to put all the stuff in there, and then I probably will go on to make a big work zone for the whole of the zoo, for caretakers and security guards and all that stuff. All those big kind of general vendors, caretakers, all those stuff will kind of go in a general work zone, and then I'll put kind of the keepers and veterinarians and educators in kind of their own work zones. In this episode I don't actually put any education down, so I probably will do that in the next episode next week, because of course this is a weekly kind of series, or I hope to try and make it a weekly series. Of course last week's episode was a week ago today, so yeah. And now I came up with a good idea here to kind of put some water in, because I don't know where it came from actually, but I just came up with a good idea to put some water in. And then we are putting some rocks around the water. This habitat is quite rocky, so if you don't know rocks, this habitat might not be a thing. but I do want to change that off camera to kind of make it a bit more terrain-y after this kind of footage, because that won't be on I won't have any footage of that, but in the next episode you will see me, well, you will see the habitats, of course. Not, you won't see it in the tour, but in the next episode you will see the habitat looking a lot more nicer. Maybe the next episode I will go on to edit a couple of stuff, because I don't, is it finished, is it not, I'm not really sure. I do go on to like kind of edit stuff like every now and then, so maybe in the future episode you will see me go back to this habitat and kind of edit it. But you'll definitely see this habitat again after this episode, I'm sure of that. And of course next episode kind of will be, if I don't get any comments, which I'm hoping I do get comments in this video or last video, that hopefully will be an animal selected by one of our guests watching, one of our viewers watching this video. So hopefully someone does it, otherwise I'll have to ask someone for it, because of course this is a fan interactive zoo, so I will be waiting for your ideas and comments for these like videos here. And now I'm just checking where the animals can go, and I was so silly there. I was like, oh yeah, they can go around the whole kind of the whole habitat, but then I kind of looked back at this footage and I saw that they couldn't go down the rocks. So again, off camera, because I don't really want to see me fiddle around the terrain for like half an hour trying to work out how we can like blend the terrain in with like kind of with the habitat, like where the dogs can go in the habitat. So I'm trying to make this habitat quite rocky, but I still want to make it nice for the kind of dogs. And here we are messing around with the colours for the aquatic rocks for the African wild dogs. And here's the second rock that I will be using in this kind of habitat. The aquatic rocks, of course, I do kind of like them. They are forks rocks, I think. So I like them because they're different to all the other rocks, and they're good to use like for your habitats, because they're like different shapes and sizes to the like usual ones that you get, like savanna, tropical, mossy, temperate. All of them are kind of the same rocks, I think. So I do like to kind of change the like structure, shapes up, if you want, around here. And yeah, so kind of my like what I do first and what I do at the end in habitats, as I usually start with like the barriers around it, which you saw in the last episode, well, most of it anyway, because I did hope for like the outside to be a natural barrier, but the dogs were just escaping, so I did put some mesh fence around there, like off camera. I did do quite a few things off camera, because you kind of notice quite a lot of things once you watch it back. So I do go on to like fix a lot of things off camera after I watched this back earlier. So I did go on to do that. You'll see that, of course, in the later episodes, as I said earlier in this video. But kind of what I do first is I do the habitat barriers, then I see like how it blends in, and then I'll go for rocks, and then I'll go for, well, no, before rocks I'll go for kind of the terrain. Once I've got the animals in, I'll go for terrain, then I'll do the rocks, then I'll do the plants, and then I'll do kind of blend buffalo grass in with all the plants, because you know, buffalo grass, you can't beat it. It's one of the handiest nature foliage things you can get in Planet Zoo. So I just put it in most of my habitats, and it just looks really good. Of course, you'll have like loads of buffalo grass dotted around there, and it just looks really cool. And there you are, the order coming in. So now we've got the kind of trees coming in now, the tall trees, and then we'll start to get smaller trees, and then we'll go to like bushes, and then we'll go to kind of little plants dotted around there. So we are putting some little palm trees in here, just trying to make it look kind of nice and African, because of course African wild dog. I think African wild dogs are actually quite endangered, like critically endangered. So it's good that we're doing that first. Just try and, not that we will, but raise the awareness of how endangered these animals are. Most animals are getting really endangered now, under the threat, of course, global warming, habitat destruction, loads of reasons why animals are kind of dying away. And yeah, we need to do something about it, but that's not what this video is about though. Maybe we could have a video about that, and how the importance of zoos, like in conservation zoos, could how they help, because of course some zoos do help massively with breeding. Of course, similar to Honduras is literally extinct in the wild, so that's really good that they're still alive and we're still taking care of them. Of course, one of the famous ones, northern white rhino as well, is quite famous. That because of course they're being looked. I guess they're still in the wild. They're in a reserve, but they are being looked after and protected for their lives. Because of course they've been hunted, poached to only 2 individuals now. So yeah. There, you can also search up. There's loads of animals that are really endangered, and loads of websites will give you loads of information about what those animals are and what the animals are extinct in the world and stuff like that. Yeah, so maybe we could have a video about the conservation of zoos and how they help. Another idea for the channel. But yeah, here we are, just putting all the shrubs in. It's kind of like the little plants here. Put another tree in there. Because you can't have enough foliage. I think it's a lovely tool in Planet Zoo, and this is probably my favourite part of the habitat. Any habitat usually, putting down the foliage and blending it in the rocks. I do enjoy putting rocks down, but I enjoy the plants a little bit more. And here we are, we've got some buffalo grass coming in, which of course I said we use in every enclosure. Maybe not every enclosure, but we do try and use them in most enclosures. Of course, that buffalo grass is kind of floating in there, so when I do the tour, I think I will change that to kind of get it on the ground, because we don't really want floating grass in our zoo, because we want it to be realistic enough, for kind of the guests and you, the viewers. So yeah, we want our zoo to be quite realistic, but not too realistic where we have to put every detail in, because it is the first series. We don't want to go over the top. So yeah. Now we're putting all the kind of enrichment in. So we've got a sprinkler in there. I do kind of like putting sprinklers around or in water, because then they kind of blend in instead of just a random sprinkler in the middle of the field, And then we got I do kind of my 2 favourite enrichment items here are kind of the hanging feeder and the kind of zebra cardboard box thing. So anyway, we had a bit of a low welfare because there was so many of them. I don't know why I put all of them in the enclosure at the start. So then I do go on to release them to the wild. So it's pretty good, and then I do go on to kind of give you a tour right now, actually. So yeah, here's a tour. Of course, that was a short speed build, but most of this video is actually a tour. So here we are. This is the actual guest spawn entrance that I was talking about last video. It just the roof looks lovely with all the flowers and grass around it, and the kind of the glass roof in the middle. And I just think this kind of this whole building came out really well. And you can just see some plaster hanging out at the back. I will go on to edit that. Maybe I could build the zoo around this just to blend it in, so no one will notice. I'm sure you will notice now, but yeah. In a couple other videos I will be kind of putting lots of foliage in the gaps here, maybe some more facilities around, kind of just to liven the plain areas around here. And if you see kind of on the left, we got some toilets. And let's just go through the entrance gate. Of course, you see most of the actual kind of entrance. Why are those guests not going on? I don't know. I'll have to try and find that out soon. You just saw the kind of whole entrance here. Of course, that Pip Shop Smoothie isn't really connected to the path there. So yeah, this kind of whole modern world style I do like as an entrance. And then we've got European stone hidden there as well. So here's some more facilities here. Some more toilets there, and then the toilets on the kind of left here are toilets for actually in the park. And then we do have another facility around the corner, which is the information centre. And here I am circling kind of where the next 1 or 2 habitats will be in the next episode or 2. So that will be where kind of your ideas, your kind of what animal you want next, or kind of what theme you want next will be. And remember, at the start of the actual kind of start of last video, we did do the gift shop, if you can remember that far back. And this is kind of a nice simple gift shop if you want kind of just teddies, where you just starting off with the kind of zoo, the kind of just filling in the plaza with a nice simple gift shop really. And I do like it actually. Of course, I did play around with the colours, but I just stuck with the kind of base theme at the end. And I do like the gift shop actually. I don't usually like my gift shops, but because of course I do have some other private zoos. Maybe I could show you them, do some tours later. But I do like the gift shop, that one. So yeah. And now we go to the Starfruit Village, which isn't of course done because I do want to make it a little bit more villagey with some plants dotted around it. Of course, like some just lay it up and just give that really villagey vibe here. Of course, we've still got our modern world theme going on there, and then we've got like loads of other buildings at the back. And then of course, if you go around to the side, they do actually kind of blend into the habitat. Then you've got the utility transformer right in front of you, and then we go down the tunnel to the habitat. Got a keeper coming. Is that a keeper coming through the door? Right there. Of course, you've got some staff rooms on the left there. They wouldn't mind that. I don't know if any of the staff rooms actually have a little view onto the habitat, but here we are in our habitat, which is actually looking really good. I do love how this came out. Of course, I might edit this later in the series, but for the moment I am happy with how it looks at the moment. Of course, got that we ended the video with kind of the curved barrier around to the left of the habitat there. And this video, of course, we have done all the foliage and kind of just done most of the habitat here. Of course, you've got this nice rock work here. The African wild dogs will get down there. And they usually do swim in the pool. I don't know if you might be able to see it later in the video when we actually kind of talk about names and stuff. Of course, got a beach ball in there. Oh, there goes one. There goes one swimming. Of course, got some nice palm trees. Get that nice deserty, tropical feel, you know, because of course these do live in Africa. And this kind of does resemble their habitat, their kind of home, what they'd be in the wild, like what the habitat would be like in the wild. And then we've got the little tunnel, and we've got the little tunnel going down there. And here we are, I'm just editing the kind of buffalo grass there. Of course, the tunnel is quite cool actually, because kind of the guests can feel like quite, it can be quite cool feeling, kind of looking down on them as they go like under you. I personally, I do kind of like that, so that was a pretty cool addition to the kind of habitat. And then we've got the other side here, which of course is restricted to a little bit side there, because that was as far as the habitat gate could go, the habitat barriers could go. And then we've got what is going on with that kind of hanging feeder, I don't know. But yeah, then we got the zebra cardboard box there, and here's the little steam workshop barrier I used there. Might put a habitat in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Maybe that could just be a space filled with foliage, or kind of just a kind of centerpiece in there. But yeah, it's just the habitat here, and that is kind of the zoo at the moment. And now, before the video ends, we of course will have the names for these. This is a female. It's Olive Funke, but I do want a different name for her because, of course, maybe your name, maybe just think of a name. But yeah, just pick up some names. Of course, they got bad enrichment space there, but I think that's because they can't go to the other side. But they're looking pretty cool. Here's our two females. Just have a little lie down here, and just give a name. Hopefully, we have some babies soon. Of course, I won't let them go wild with babies because that would just be too much. Maybe a couple times. And then we've got the male here. Of course, the male, he's having a good old swim. I didn't realise they could swim in Planet Zoo, but clearly they can because they did put some water down. Just got rocks in the background. So yeah, come up with the names for this male, and of course, that is the video as he gets out the water to end the video. So, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next episode.